Hey dudes, the American Samurai coming to you once again, almost live Small Town USA, back in with another audiobook collection update for December 2019. So, I just got some audiobooks in the mail on MP3 CD. They're having a sale on Amazon on some of these. Well, some of these on sale. I think one was regular price. But there's some of my favorite. These are revolving around some of my favorite characters. So, first here we have the Lost Sherlock Holmes stories by Dr. John Watson. I'm assuming written by Tony Reynolds or performed by, I don't know. The recent death of one of the descendants of Dr. Watson has brought to light the personal papers. These include a number of stories that Dr. Watson suppressed at the time for various reasons. As all involved are long dead, the inheritor has agreed to the publication of a set of 8 of the most interesting adventures. Yeah, that's a pretty cool thing about Sherlock Holmes. If you guys don't know, there's still Sherlock Holmes stories being written today. So yeah, I mean, not Sherlock Holmes. I mean, there's whole books on just Moriarty. So I mean, once you dive into Sherlock Holmes universe, you never know where you're gonna go. Speaking of which, you got here the The New Adventures of Sherlock Holmes radio series, Volume 1, starring Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce. Let me get back here. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's detective genius Sherlock Holmes came to NBC Radio in 1930, starring Richard Gordon. By 1939, Basil Rathbone was heard with Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson. The duo was simultaneously starring in a popular series of Sherlock Holmes features for Fox and later for Universal. By the end of the feature run, mid-1940s, Rathbone was eager to separate himself from the radio show and avoid being typecast. Even though the show's sponsor, Petri Wines, offered him generous pay to continue, he decided to move on. Tim Conway took over with Nigel Bruce, 15 years Watson. In this pairing, Nigel Bruce received top billing. Tom Conway and Nigel Bruce were replaced in 1947 by John Stanley and Alfred Shirley. Others to portray Holmes and Watson over the radio one were George Shelton, Ian Martin, Ben Wright, Eric Chardin. 1955, NBC signed heavyweight Sir John Gielgud and Sir Ralph Richardson stars Holmes and Watson. Both radio, fast, and television. It only lasted 1 season. The episodes here include Murder by Moonlight, The Gunpowder Plot, The Speckled Band, The Adventure of the Double Zero, The Iron Box, The Incarnation of Mr. Edwards, The Terrifying Cats, The Adventure of the Living Doll, The Girl with the Gazelle, The Headless Monks, and The Uneasy Chair, and The Haunting of Sherlock Holmes. I've listened to The Adventure of the Living Doll. That one was one of my favorites because you actually get to meet the girl who's taking part in the story as an adult. I think it's pretty cool. This one's for all you Shadow fans out there who didn't know this existed till now. I didn't either. Yes, you're looking at a dramatized version of one of the original Shadow stories written for Street and Smith. This is Partners in Peril, which I got for $9.99. Which I believe was the same. Yeah, the Sherlock Holmes radio show I got on sale for $3.99, and this one was also $9.99. So yeah. In this full cast version of the classic pulp novel, the Shadow investigates as one by one partners in a chemical company die in mysterious deaths. The plot of Partners in Peril and much of the action is almost identical to the case of the Chemical Syndicate, the very first Batman story published in Detective Comics number 27, which appeared some years later. In fact, the creators of Batman acknowledged they drew their inspiration for the character Shadow from this classic Shadow story. I believe Batman has actually met the Shadow several times in the comics, so yeah. If you're looking for a good... I've read this one. Actually, if you look on my wall here, you'll see the cover for that particular adventure, which I believe was one of the first Shadow stories I ever read. So Looking forward to hearing the audio of that. Well, anyways, that was my audiobook update for December 2019. Some Sherlock Holmes and the Shadow. Until next time, who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows.